Welcome back to Rolling with Olin. I'm Jeff Olin, your host. So today my guest is legendary actor. He's a legendary actor, but not only that, his career spans decades. He is an amazing actor, a singer, a producer, a dear friend of mine, a collaborator, and everything else. Welcome, or welcome. Robert Miano. Hey, Robert.
What a way to begin.
Nothing like live. No.
Well, I'm here. I'm so happy to be here, Jeff.
Oh
You know,
man.
so great.
It's
Yeah.
so I'm just thrilled to have you. Really, I mean, I know we've been trying to get you on here for a while, and so I'm really appreciative of you. Um, let's go back to when we're going to start out with you. I want to go back to when Joe DiMaggio and Yogi Berra were playing for the New York Yankees. You were a kid on the streets of Southeast Bronx. Tell us about
Southeast.
tell us about those days. They're pretty interesting, I'd say.
Oh my God. Well, yeah, I did watch Berra and Mantle and not Mantle, but Berra and DiMaggio
Yogi.
play. You know, at around 15. I mean, I grew up in the Bronx, Southeast Bronx, and I was selected, not selected, but I was um, singled out at school, grade school, because I could sing.
Hmm.
I had this virtuosity voice, and I could really sing. And at 15 years old, I was on the street corner in the Bronx with a bunch of guys singing doo-wop. And these people came by and said, "Hey, listen, you got a great sound. Would you like to cut a demo?" I said, "Sure." We cut a demo. Next thing I knew, we were in the studio recording for MGM Records, Vanishing Angel and Kingdom of Love, that you can still hear today.
It's amazing. I mean,
The Preludes. The group was the
the
Preludes.
preludes, and people can still hear it today, like you said.
You can go right now on YouTube and play it.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, Robert. But look, I mean, you got into that. You were like 15 years old. But tell the audience here because the audience is. I mean, even when I heard this and read it and know this about you, and I know you quite well, but you were playing stickball at a young age in the streets of the Bronx. You were playing stickball with a group of kids, including a very young Al Pacino. Can you get
Yeah.
into that? Because you were a very good stickball player.
Oh, here's a picture of the Preludes.
Oh, that's nice. Look at that. Where are you? Which one?
I'm the middle.
The middle one.
Yeah. Don't you
The one
recognize me?
singing.
I'm the guy that's singing.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love
So
that.
no, growing up in the streets of the Bronx, stickball was a real passion, and I had a real good talent to play stickball. So in the schoolyard, I would always play with the older guys because I could hit and catch better than they could. I mean, it was amazing. I was a really good stickball player. And Al Pacino, he lived a couple of blocks from me, and I'd run into him from time to time, and we'd be at the schoolyard playing basketball. Um, you know, growing up, I didn't hang out much with Al, but I would see him around the neighborhood all the time.
Yeah.
And he
Well,
was
I mean,
he was
well, he grew
go
up
ahead.
in the neighborhood, like you said. You saw him all the time, and we'll get into years later how you guys reconnected, this and that, what have you.
Right,
But and I didn't mean to cut you off about your singing, but I wanted to get that Al Pacino story in of how you guys just
oh
kind
yeah,
of started out. But so you were singing with this doo-wop group, and we love that photo that we just saw, and I hope that's your props person back there, who I happen to know.
yeah,
We'll bring out others. There you go. Look at this. Look at that.
yeah, that's
Now,
me.
how big was the group, Robert?
I'm had a few nice sized band.
And so that was, like you said, that was Kingdom of Love, and then
Kingdom of Love
you signed
and
on with MGM.
with Cub Records. It was a new Cub Records had just put out a new label called MGM put out a new label called Cub Records, and so we recorded for them Vanishing Angel and Kingdom of Love, and they still play it today as an oldies but goodies.
Wow, that's really something. I love that. So everybody go and listen
Look,
to it.
here I am with Jean-Pierre Bugeaud.
Love it.
She was nice.
Look at that. Look at that.
And
Well, ultimately, you became a
Jack Lemmon, he was in that movie too.
Jack who? Jack Klugman?
Jack Lemmon.
Oh, Lemon, Jack Lemon. Yeah. Well, you
Yeah, yeah.
have. I mean, look, you've worked with so many of the greats over the years, and you know, I wanted to. I wanted to talk about not long after you started singing, your recording, and all that. You got a call to you got a calling yourself basically to travel the world, right? And so
Well,
this is it.
before that, though, before I traveled the world, um, I was signed to Columbia Records.
Hmm.
I
Right,
became a recording artist,
right.
and I cut a few sides for them. Nothing really happened as a result of it, but nevertheless, I did record for Columbia
But you
Records.
did it, and you know what?
Yeah,
Look,
I did.
I've heard Robert sing, and he's an incredible singer. And you know, I mean, could you just throw in a couple of
Piccito angelo sta compagnia vostra, che ha già perduto una fantasia, che pensi sempre che tutta vita mia. I could go on and on.
I
But
love it.
anyway, you were talking about the trip that
Well,
I
you
took.
yeah. So you kind of. I mean, you did something that so many people would love to do, right? You just got up and you just said, "Hey, and you were only singing at the time. You weren't even thinking acting, I guess.
No,
You
I wasn't. I
you know,
wasn't.
right? You took
We
off. You
we
had
were
two
living
hundred
in.
dollars in your pocket, and you took off for Europe.
I had $200 in my pocket and a round trip ticket on what was it, Luxembourg Airlines, and I had just come back from Canada doing a rock musical called Satyricon, and I got home and I said, God, I want to see the world. I mean, it opened up my eyes. And I said to my mother and my father, listen, I'm going to go. I'm going to go fly to Europe, and I'm traveling around the world. she looked. She looked at me. She says, "Robert, you're taking too many trips." So, true story. I had the guitar. I could play five, six, seven chords, and
That's it.
but I could sing, and I knew I could sing in like four or five different languages: Spanish, Italian, Hebrew, a little French, and I flew. I went. I flew. I flew across the ocean to Europe and landed in Luxembourg. The funny thing is, the first plane I got on, I'm sitting on this plane, and the pilot comes on and he says, "I'm sorry, we're losing pressure in the plane. We have to turn back." Oh my God! So now I'm flying back home, back back to was it JFK, and I'm saying to myself, am I really supposed to do this?
Oh yeah, you started questioning it.
Yeah, but I got on the next plane and I was
Yeah,
gone.
but that was incredible to. I mean, how old were you when you did that?
I was 26.
26. Okay. So, you know, some people do it a little earlier and later, but still it's huge because you got on with your guitar, your duffel bag, and you just went, you didn't know. I mean, you had a round trip ticket, I guess, but you
For
were also there
$300,
for like 2.5 years, weren't you?
2.5 years, I traveled around the world. I mean, I saw places, countries, people that nobody, very few people get to see. The Sudan, Ethiopia, Kenya, Uganda, all of Europe, Italy, Spain, Greece, Israel, Egypt.
I mean,
Um,
that's
uh,
incredible.
yeah, and it was an amazing journey for me. And I don't mean to be pompous, uh, but I became the king of the road,
Really.
really, because I could have gone anywhere I wanted. The first what happened was I hitchhiked because I only had $200,
Right.
so I spent one night in Paris. I did find a cheap hotel, and then I hitchhiked down to Spain,
Wow.
and I got to Toledo, and I slept under a bridge. And these kids would come in the morning and they'd bring me fruit and stuff. And somehow or other, I managed to get to Sevilla. So here I am in Sevilla, and I'm sleeping in the park, and the sprinklers would come on, and they'd wake me up in the morning, and I would go to a restaurant to kind of
Clean up.
freshen up.
Yeah.
So I go to this one restaurant, and the maitre, it's at lunchtime, and the maitre d' sees me. He's like, no, 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 no. So anyway, but he was so busy, I snuck into the restroom, did my washed my face, whatever, came out, and there was a couple sitting by the door, and I walked over to them. I took the guitar off. Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Guantanamera. And the guy reached in his pocket and he gave me a coin. I walked outside the restaurant and it was like a switch that went off of my head. I said, my God,
Can make money.
this is how I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I walked around the corner. There was a long row of tables, people having lunch outside at a restaurant. I took the guitar and I serenaded the group and passed. I would pass after I would finish. I would take off my hat and pass, and I I had money.
Yeah.
Now I had a few bucks in my pocket, so I wanted to travel around the world, to go all the way around.
That is amazing, and also like, what year do you think that was? Where you that story you just told, give or
Well,
take?
I was 26 years old. I think it was 1972.
72. Okay. So as you were traveling, you didn't see a lot of other people that were doing what you did as far as like the, collecting money from the guitar playing or anything like that. Because we see it
No,
now all over the place.
but there were some people that were able, uh, by their own means, to travel. Like Americans,
Yeah.
I would run into some people that were on the path. You know, I ran into this one guy. I remember Victor, and uh, we traveled briefly for a while, and then I ran into him again in Uganda.
Oh.
I hitchhiked into Uganda,
Oh.
right in the middle of the civil war between Obote and Amin. And as I'm coming in on some truck, there's bodies on there's a body on the street, and we went to a hostel, and I met him there, and then we went into town, and we went to a curio shop where they sell, elephant legs and
Yeah. Yeah.
tails, and and I got to talking to the young guy that owned the shop, and he said, "Listen, I'm going to go on a safari." He says, I have a permit to get two deer, two elephant, blah blah blah. Would you like to come along? I
Wow.
said, "Wow, are you kidding? Yeah, I'm in." Next day, I know we get into this Land Rover with him, and we're going out into the bush with this Wahirawan, and we come upon an elephant, and the elephant was by the water, right? So he took out a sock, and in the sock there's ash, and he would shake the sock, and he could see which way the wind was blowing,
Oh,
because
interesting.
you can't go downwind.
Yeah.
Anyway, long story short, before I know it, I'm looking at this elephant ready to charge, and he turns around and he yells "her" at this elephant. This elephant turned around and ran off.
Wow.
That's just one experience. Another one that was so harrowing. I wanted to go from Morocco to the Canary Islands because it was it was summertime. It was winter, and I wanted to go to a warm climate. But I didn't want to fly. I wanted to,
Mhm.
do something adventurous. Take a dhow or something. So I hear about this French boy who's sailing, who's going to sail. He has a sailboat, and he's going to sail from Agadir to Las Palmas, the Canary
Mhm.
Islands. And I get there to see him, and this young, beautiful French kid, and he says, "Do you speak English? Do you speak French?"
Yeah.
I said, "No." So I spoke less French than he spoke English, and he says, come with me. He says, don't worry. He says, it'll take us 5 days. We get to the Canary Islands. I said, okay. Now I'm on the boat with him. I throw my guitar and my gear in the back. And about 2 days later, I'm so seasick. I am so seasick, and the little sailboat is taking water, so we're bailing the water out of this little sailboat, and there's no engine. It's just a sailboat. It's like an 18-foot sailboat. It's a
Yeah.
little sailboat. Long story short, I'm lying on his bunk because it only slept one. I'm lying down and I see him calling to me, and I'm hearing bang, 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 like the waves crashing against the boat. And I did everything I could to crawl out to the back of the boat. I crawl out, and he puts me in a chair, and he says, "Hold the tiller right here." I held the tiller for dear life, and he was taking down the sail as I was holding the tiller.
My
And
gosh.
all I remember is riding through the storm with a sound like whoosh.
Wow.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I mean, the waves and the rain and the
Wow.
wind. I
Wow.
thought how I survived that, I'll never know. So we come out of the storm, and in front of us is an oil tanker, and the guy yells out to us, "Do you need assistance?"
You're
So,
like this big, and it's a huge oil tanker. Yeah.
yeah, and we're coming out of a storm.
Wow.
So he gave the kid his longitude and
And helped.
latitude,
Yeah.
and so he was able to navigate back, to the Canary Islands. But we got blown off course,
Wow.
so got blown right past Las Palmas and ended up in Lanzarote. So we get out, we stretch our legs, we go for a little beer, come back, and he says to me, "Robert," he says, "listen," he says, "come down to Dakar with me. I'm
Wow.
going to get a bigger boat."
That's a good story, Rob. You know,
Wait, he said to him, "Alan, this is where you and I
part
part
ways.
company."
Part ways. Bye bye. Right. Well, first of all, you're telling that story, and I literally felt like I was on the boat. I mean, you're such a storyteller, and I know this already about you. It's incredible. I felt like, and I hope the audience did too. I mean, really, it's really unbelievable. And if this was a travel show, I would continue having you tell these stories because they are
Yeah,
incredible. And I'll have you on again another time. But I
sure.
wanted to talk about and get into a little bit more about how you changed course now. You went from traveling, you went back to New York, and that's when
Hold
I
on. Here's
believe,
what happened.
you got
I
with
was in Uganda.
Lee Strasberg at that time, right?
I was in Uganda. Like I said, I was in Uganda, and I got like a job singing at this club in Uganda. And anyway, I one night I go to the theater. They're playing Gone with the Wind, right? And I'm waiting for the movie to start. I guess it played. Now it's going to start again. And there was a curtain that separated the theater from the lobby. And as I walked through the curtain into the theater, this young blonde girl, 18 years old, from Seattle, Washington, walks through at the same exact time, and we bump into each other. And she thought I was like an Indian because I'm so dark. And I said, "No, no, American." She says, "You're American?" She says, "Oh, please." She says, "Come sit with me and my friend." Long story short, I I wanted to go around the world, and she turned me around. Instead of going, I was going to go to the Seychelles Islands and then to Japan and Far East. And instead, I went down to South Africa with her, and I got involved with a band there. They loved me. It was like in Johannesburg. Um, they didn't want me to leave. But like I said, I wanted to travel. So I took her with me. I got a job singing on the Chusan, going from going from Durban to Rio de Janeiro for the carnival. And on the boat is Christian Barnard and his new wife, who was worth 30 million rand at the time. Anyway, long story short, we do the carnival, we do Rio, and I fly back with her to New York to my parents' house, and she wants to get married, and my mother, go ahead, get married. Anyway, long story short, uh, we got married, and then it was annulled, and then I went on to do some acting. I
Well,
got into some classes.
you went to
I got
classes with Lee Strasberg.
Lee Strasberg was earlier. I think Strasberg was before I left on the trip.
Yeah,
It
because
was early.
you're still. I mean, we'll get into this later, but you're still a lifetime member of the Actors Studio.
I'm a lifetime. Yeah, I'm still alive.
Yeah,
So I'm
you're
a
still alive.
lifetime.
Yeah, but you. I mean, I read this or heard this. You had the opportunity to go and work with Stella Adler, who was also working with Lee
I
Strasberg at
interviewed
the
with
time.
Stella. Yeah, I interviewed with Stella, and I don't know. I mean, I heard such great things about her, and then I had this interview with Strasberg, and for some reason or other, I chose Strasberg. And the
Hey,
funny thing is, in his class, I didn't understand what he was talking about.
right. Well, you're not in bad company. Just so the audience knows, and a lot of you do already. Strasberg was a great, great acting teacher. I mean, not only was Robert Miano one of his students, but James Dean, Marilyn Monroe, Harvey Keitel, Martin Landau, and a slew of others. Huh, Robert?
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing. So yeah, I am a lifetime member of the Actors Studio, which has been a real gift to me because I've learned so much there. It's like a home away from home, such a supporting group, and you get up and put work up there, and the peers critique you, and you learn. You grow. I've been there for 20 years. Marty Landau brought me in.
Mm,
He was my mentor,
mm.
and I had met Marty, and he said, "Why don't you audition for the Actors Studio?" I said, "All right." I go and audition. I didn't. I think the first audition I did, I think I got in.
Wow,
You know,
of course.
well, he helped, and
Yeah, but it's not easy. And
no,
people,
it's not.
even
It's
to
not
this day, they have to audition to get in to the actor studio,
absolutely.
right? It's
I
not just
mean,
a class that you take. Obviously, it's
no, you have to. They're very rigorous, and they're very. They vet you. They really look at your work, and you don't get in easily.
no, no. Well, you studied, you did everything you could to not only stay in that class, and you're still, like you said, you're still a member of the actor studio. I want to talk a little bit about your first role in 1974, which is the year I was bar mitzvahed, Robert. Um,
I, okay, I forget when I was bar mitzvahed, but anyway,
yeah.
that
So you
was.
landed your first speaking role in
Oh
Michael
yeah,
Winter's directed
Death
Death
Wish.
Wish with Charles Bronson, and
Right.
you could you please tell that story because again I heard it, but about the other actors and the knife and all that.
Yeah. So it was an open call. They were looking for they were looking to cast a role, and I'm sitting in the waiting area with a couple of actors, and all of a sudden we hear some screams, "Help! Help!" And as we get up, we see Michael Winter running out of the office, like to another office, and locks the door. And we see this guy coming after him with a knife. The two of us, we get up, we grab a hold of the guy, and we get him out. And then we knock on the door and say, "It's okay, Michael. You can come out." He comes out and he says, "Oh my God." He says, "Crazy actors here, crazy people." And he gave us both jobs in the movie. So I became one of the muggers. And in my first scene, I'm up on top of a fence and Charlie Bronson comes up to me and he looks at me and I'm supposed to say a line to him, but I was so like I couldn't open my mouth. So he shoots me, and I fall off the fence, and that was the first role.
Yeah, that was the first of many, many, many. And I want to just get into a little bit of this. I'm just going to go. I'm going to bring up a couple of things to you, and
Yeah,
I
sure.
want to hear your best, thoughts or stories about it. 1976, the TV movie Bridger. Tell us
Which one?
about you stretching the truth to get the role of the Indian chief Modoc. Do you remember you were wearing a loincloth and
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know how that was for Universal, and that was my first role. And I go in, and they want to cast me as this Indian brave, And okay, I'm up for it. Next thing I know, they're putting me on a Pinto, right, with no saddle, with a spear, and I don't know what the hell I had on the other hand,
you were
but
wearing a loincloth.
it was a little loincloth, right? It's called Bridger with
A
James
Bridger,
Wainwright.
Bridger.
Yeah, Bridger,
Yeah, and
and
you had a bow and arrow in one hand and a
I
spear
had
in
a bow
another.
and arrow in one hand and a spear in the other hand, and then I'm I'm on the back of
Galloping,
this
or
Pinto with three guys behind me, well, hooting and howling, and you have to. I had to land and stop on the mark, right?
yeah,
I, Jeff, I don't know how I did it. You talk about chutzpah,
yeah,
you know. I
yeah,
don't know how I did it, but I managed to do it, and it was a great experience.
because you had never really rode a horse all that much
Oh,
before
here
that.
it is. Here's the shot,
Oh, there it is. Look at that. Look at that.
huh? And that's
Beautiful.
James Wainwright.
Yeah, hold it up. Just bring it up a little bit. There you go. Perfect. Look at that.
And here's the
Wow.
loincloth.
Yeah, the loincloth, the long hair.
Yeah, they put the long hair on
Yeah,
me, some war paint, and I was ready to go.
nice. I love that. I love that.
It's a good story.
They're all good stories. Here's another one. Not long after that, because there's too much that we could talk about, and so I definitely want to have you on another time. But um, not long after that, the legendary writer of the Humphrey Bogart film Casablanca, Howard Koch,
Oh, Howard Koch.
saw you singing and offered you a role in the movie Badge 373 with Robert
That's
Duvall. Do you remember that?
Yes. What happened was when we came back to New York, the, the the girl and myself, this girl, she got a job at the Plaza Hotel, right, up in the front desk, and I managed to get in to get signed with this agent. Um, what was his name? Hugo Coletti. Anyway, he booked me in the Green Tulip Room of the
Oh, to
of
sing in the
the
Green Tulip Room. Yeah.
yeah, the Green Tulip Room of the Plaza Hotel, and I would, that was my gig, and anyway, Koch met her. He was staying at the hotel, so he met Connie, and he liked her, and Connie, she told him about her, her guy who's an actor, and the guy, and the next thing I know, here I am. I got a picture of this one. That's badge 373.
Look at that.
Look at that hair,
Wow. Look
man.
at that hair, the mustache.
Yeah, I was like, well, I had the mustache while I was singing around.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Look at these. Classic.
Yeah,
Classic. Oh
and
man.
here's with with Bobby,
Oh, with Bobby Daenerys. Look at that.
with
Wow.
Bobby.
Look at that. Especially to the actors that are paying attention. Check that out. Wow.
That's badge 373.
Incredible.
Oh, here's another shot. This is a shot of me and Jeremy Irons
Look
when
at
I
that.
did. Yeah, we did. What's the name of that? God, I forget the
That's why
name.
anyone who's listening, definitely check these episodes out on YouTube, and you'll be able to see these photos. Pretty incredible, really, Robert. Really unbelievable. I mean, you know, and you have had such a career that has been spanning for so long. I mean, you came out to Los
50
Angeles. You've been
years.
out here for 50 years. Yeah. You've been in
50
LA
years.
for a good 35, 40.
I came out here in 1974
Right.
and
Right.
started
Which, yeah,
and did work here. Yeah.
you know, and just for reference, a few of the shows that Robert has worked on over the years here. I mean, it's too long of a list. If you go to his IMDb, there's over 300 credits, so much television, over 100 movies, unbelievable. The shows from Barnaby Jones, Chips, Fantasy Island, Vice Squad, Cagney and Lacey, Knots Landing, MacGyver, Crime Story, Matlock, Frasier, The Shield. It goes on and on. And here's the crazy thing. I
Yeah.
came out here to be an actor, and
Yeah.
I could only have wished to have had a quarter of that career when I was an actor. To get all that is just incredible, but it just goes to show what you've been doing in this industry, which is really incredible. I mean, the stories that you have.
Well, just to talk about the actors that are listening, the young actors, there's no finish line. Okay. And it's relentless pursuit. You have to just be persistent. I mean, when I first started, I was rejected, 30 times before I got on the board. So you just can't give up. You just got to keep on going, as Charlie Bronson said, you know,
Yeah.
and that's it. It's one day at a time. And
One day at a
yeah,
time, but if you stay with it and focus and you
and
do
learn.
your
You have to learn while you.
right.
At least that's what yeah, while you're doing it, you have to learn
Yeah.
so that you keep getting, improving your skill,
Right. I
your
mean, you have
craft.
to it's a craft, right? I mean, it's you're
You
an
definitely.
artist.
I mean, I learned. I'm going to put up a scene at the Actors Studio Friday from Glenn Gary, Glenn Ross,
Mm,
and I'll learn from that.
yeah.
I'll get feedback, and I'll learn. So I keep that something in me. Look, when I think about Al's had such a great career making movies,
Yeah.
but yet he'll always go back and do a play. I saw him do his first play in junior high school, which was Home Sweet Homicide,
Wow.
and he was terrific then. So, but the real good ones, they study.
Like
Some of them are
yourself.
naturals.
Like
Some,
yourself.
yeah, some actors are just naturals, and
Yeah.
you know,
Well, you're
George
definitely
George C. Scott, I don't think he studied.
yeah.
You know, so some of them are just naturals.
Well, you're definitely natural. I mean, I've seen you. I've seen you work, obviously, and anyone
Oh,
who gets an opportunity to see it work. But let's stay with Al for a second. How about having a co-starring role with Al Pacino and Johnny Depp, playing mob boss Sonny Red in Donnie Brasco? That was 1997. Tell us about that. Tell us about the role and how that was
so
for you.
so at some point I reconnected with Al out here. He liked to play paddle tennis,
Hmm.
and at the time I was living up in Beverly Hills in a house that had a paddle tennis court, and Al would come up with his entourage, and we'd play paddle tennis, and we reconnected. He went back to New York, and they were casting Donnie Brasco out here. Lou DeGimo was the casting director.
Mhm.
And my agent called Lou and said, there's something for Robert. And he said, no, sorry, there's nothing for Robert in this movie. Okay. I went home. I picked up the phone. I called Al's office in New York, and his guy answered the phone. And I said, hey, listen, they're casting Donnie Brasco out here, but they won't see me. He says, Robert, I'm making Al's list right now as we speak. I'll put you down. The next day, I get a call from casting to come to pick up a script. I'm going to meet Mike Newell. So I look at the role Sonny Red. It was a sketch role. It wasn't really a flushed out role. And I go back, I think it was Sony Studios. I go back and I'm waiting to see Mike Newell. And these other two actors come in. And the casting director says to me, the three of you are going to go in at one time.
Hmm. Interesting.
Oh man, I said, That's a little strange, you know. So anyway, we march in there, and I end up in a chair that was like for a child. I don't know how that happened. They took the other two chairs, and I end up as in a little chair, and I'm looking up at them, and I take the chair, I move it, and I come back, and Mike Newell says, are you happy now, Robert?" I said, "No." So we do the reading, right? And after the reading, he stands up and he's got this cup of coffee in his hand. And with his left hand, he goes like this to me in my face. You know, "Thank you for coming. It's so nice. We're going to find roles, blah, blah, blah." And to me, when somebody, they give the left hand, it's almost like an insult.
Mm.
I got hot. My ears got hot. And I looked at him, right? And I said to him, "Can I excuse myself for a minute?" And I walked outside and I said, "Robert, calm down, calm down." So I went back in. He's still with the hand. He's still like,
Mm.
I don't know what he's doing with the hand. "Thank you, thank you." Okay. About 2 weeks later, I get a call from my agent. They want to hire me to as a local hire in New York to play the role of Sonny Red. Wow, unbelievable. I go to New York. I'm sitting, we're sitting at the Gulf Western building upstairs, and well, everybody's waiting for Al to come in. Johnny Depp is there, Anne Hesh, Michael Madsen, Bruno Kirby, Russo, and I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden the elevator opens, and there's Al. And he looks at me and he says, "Bob, Bob, you're doing this, Bob, Bob."
Perfect. Bob, Bob, did you do it? Yeah.
"Bob, Bob." So one quick story before that, years before that, I'm walking down Fifth Avenue, and there's Al looking into Brentano's bookshop, and he turns around and he sees me. He says, "Bob, Bob, you got a quarter, Bob." True story. So he came from unbelievable, humble beginnings, you know, from nothing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what a great story and what a great relationship that you've had with him and you've kept over the years. You've done so much, Robert. You also had a co-starring role with Jeremy Irons
Yeah, and
in the 2000 movie Dungeons and Dragons.
oh, Dungeons and Dragons. So yeah, we went to. Yeah, here it is. Here's another shot.
Look at that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was great because it was in a. They flew me to a
Oh,
foreign country.
nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Where the hell
Your
we
prop person must know what I have set up here.
She does it on her own. I don't have to
I
tell her.
know. We'll get to her in a second. You
Yeah,
know,
we bring her in.
but I mean, you've done so much, and you work with. I'm just a couple. Worked with Kim Bassinger on Jump Shot, Morgan Freeman on Edison, Christopher Walken, and Benicio del Toro on The Funeral. That must have been great, huh?
Well, yeah, because I had worked with Abel before. Actually, he had married my second cousin,
Oh,
and he was Abel was he was an oddball. He was but a very talented guy, very talented. And he gave me this role, and yeah, he gave me a few roles. China Girl, he put me in China Girl with Jimmy Russo, and I forget what the other kid's name was. But yeah, no, Abel was great. Abel was great.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
you know, you also, which I want the audience to know this, that you're part of the Fast and Furious franchise.
right.
You're playing Braga Double
Braga
in
double.
the
Yeah.
2009
Episode.
episode.
That's number 4.
Yeah, number 4.
Yeah.
But what's it
Episode.
like to be a part of that franchise?
Well, the thing that comes to mind is the food they had on the set. You
Right.
know, it was like they had chefs. They had they had tables and tables of different kinds of foods. It was just amazing. And you know, what's his name? The kid that died.
Oh, um, uh,
Wait,
Paul Walk,
Paul Walker.
Paul Walk.
Paul. Yeah, yeah. He was a real sweet kid.
Yeah.
Real nice guy. And the other guy, he was all right, but it was a thrill to to do that. I got the audition through a good friend of mine, Ron Meyer. And
Yeah.
Ron Meyer, he started CAA,
Yeah.
and
Big shot
you know
over at, wasn't he a big shot at one of the studios too?
he was the president of Universal
Universal.
Studios
Right.
for 15 years, and then he had to bow out.
Right.
Um, but yeah, but so I would go to Ronnie and I'd tell him, Ronnie, look, they're doing this, and he would ask him to see me. He wouldn't give me a role, but he would have me audition for it,
Yeah.
and I
Could there be anyone any more humble than Robert Miano when you ask him about Fast and the Furious, what his memory is? He talks about the food. I mean, I love that, but we all know that the food on especially these big sets can be just incredible. It's unbelievable.
I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
At any time, anywhere, banquets, whatever. It was like a feast every day. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Uh,
So your
so
stomach was happy too. So you've been playing mobster roles throughout your career. For 2 years, you even played Joe Scully on General Hospital, which I had, I had the casting director from General Hospital on this podcast, Mark
it's,
Techner.
um,
Mark
what's his
Techner, yeah,
Mark?
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. Nice
So
guy.
yeah, I'm a really nice guy, and you have just been playing mobsters and this and that and so many other things, and everybody loves you, Robert. You know that.
Yeah, it's not the only thing I do. I mean, I've done a lot of different characters.
Oh no,
Um,
no, I know that. I know that, and
yeah.
I mean, but you played a lot of mobsters. You played a lot of characters with all your TV and movie roles, and I wanted to get into. I also wanted to get into. Um, you've had many collaborators, and one of them, Chad Farron, who's
Oh,
our
Chad.
friend, director, film producer, writer, Chad Farron. You've done many films together with Chad. We've all
Yes.
collaborated on some films. Um, what I think the first Chad, I think the first film you did with Chad was it Parasite?
It was Parasite. That's right. That's right. And we shot it under the
Sixth Street.
Sixth Street Bridge, and, in the middle of the night, and people coming out of the walls. It was like, but Chad, he had for some reason there was something magical about that shoot.
Yeah,
Yes, because we never blocked anything, but yet when we would do the scene, it would come together organically without us having to block. It just happened. So, and the actors, they 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 resonated, and they were so alive and different, and I mean it was just a great experience. Unfortunately, when he was selling the film, he sold it to a company in Canada that wasn't forthright, and
yeah,
we lost some momentum with it. But it was a great experience, and I love Chad, and I think he's one of the most talented young directors around. Uh, I don't think anybody works harder than Chad. The guy
right.
works 24/7. It's amazing what he can do. He'll shoot it, and then he edits it. And he'll 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 put it together in a short period of time. So he's one. He puts one out after the other. And I think every time he does, they're getting better and better.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know. So
Totally agree with you. I mean, we've all worked on. Well, I've worked with you on the deep ones, Scalper, Nightcaller, The Pig Killer, and Ed Kemper, which is on. All these are out. You could see them. You could stream them. Perfect for Halloween and otherwise. They're great movies, and great collaboration. And working with you is just. It's been such an honor, and I hope we can continue doing it.
oh yeah, why not? As
You
long
know.
as we're kicking.
Yeah, as long as we're kicking. Now, what was your favorite role that you could actually just think of offhand that you ever played? Is there
Probably
any
Donnie,
favorite?
probably Donnie Brasco.
Yeah,
That was the most exciting experience. Here I am coming to the set, uh, and I'm going to do a scene with Al Pacino
yeah,
and Johnny Depp and Bruno Kirby. And we're in New York, and it's freezing. It's cold, and we're downtown, and we get ready to shoot. And Michael, he says, "Go inside and stay warm, Robert." So we start filming. We do one take, and then Michael comes up to me and he whispers in my ear, and he says, "Now, Robert, do it for the first time. Do it for the first time." I want to piggyback on that story because I
yeah.
think this, you know. So while I'm shooting Donnie Brasco, I'm in 2 3 weeks into it. I'm saying, "Hey, why did he cast me? How did I? Why me? I wanted to know if it was me, Al. So I go up to him. I said, "Look, Mike," I said, "Tell me, you saw so many guys. Why did you give me the role?"
Well,
And he looked at me and he said, "Robert, it's your cruel eyes." So when he stuck his hand out at me at that time, and I gave him a look, that's the look he put up on the screen. Yeah,
wow.
interesting.
Yeah. Well, you do have those eyes in every movie that I've seen you in. It is, I mean, it's, look, some people have their hair or their
Yeah, it's true.
hand, right?
Yeah, whatever.
Sure.
Nose,
Yeah, their nose, right? But you do. You have those intense eyes.
intense eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a tool, obviously. But you need that. You need the acting skills. You need everything else to use that tool right.
Oh yeah, it takes time to put it all together. Unless you're, you know, I don't know what, but it takes time to really, you know, become a master. Not that I mean I'm a master,
Well, you
but
are
to really become, you know, proficient and and know what to do.
a master in the art.
Another film now. I'm going to start one. I think November, called The Dark Good,
Hmm.
directed by Hunter Lee Hughes.
Hmm.
So I'm getting ready to prepare for that.
Well,
Um,
you also played something I wanted to mention. I read about you played Madonna's father in
oh
her
yeah,
in her music video "Our Father," directed
yeah.
by filmmaker David Fincher. Is that right?
By
Is that
David
correct?
Fincher. Yeah. It's amazing. I know. And here I am with Madonna playing playing the priest, her father,
Yeah.
and David Fincher's directing. I mean, it's quite remarkable. The moments and the just the experiences. I'm very blessed. I've been able to hack out a living doing this.
Yeah.
You know, I you know I've been able to make a living.
Well, it's interesting you should say hack out, right? Because you're a character actor, you're leading man, you've done it all, and you also have you've been working like for 50 years now, and you've been constantly working. People are still wanting you. Obviously, that's a great thing, you know. And when you're not acting, you're an avid chess player. You
Not
stay
so
in.
much anymore.
No,
Not
not
so much.
anymore.
I play online. I'll go online. I'll play.
Okay.
You know, but I used to have some people that I played with, and I got I just decided I'll play online.
Yeah.
So
Well, you play chess, you sing, you stay in shape. I mean, I'll tell you, Robert heard that I wasn't really staying in as good a shape as I could have some years ago, and you gave me that bar. Remember, you gave
oh
me.
my God, that's a
It's
lifesaver.
a lifesaver,
Oh yeah, the bar, man.
the
You,
bar. It would, yeah. And I
you lift
and I
yourself
thank you
up.
for that. You're such a sweetheart. It's great. Let's just talk about. We don't have ton of time left. I don't want to keep you too long, but yet I want to get into so many other things. Um, let's let's talk about. I have a little rapid question here. I think I do, and if I don't, well, first of all, what should we watch for besides what you just mentioned coming up?
Well, I just produced and started a film called The Year of the Rooster, and it's in post production now. So hopefully, we'll have it out in a little while, and I think it's a really nice movie. So that's something to look for. Um,
Great. And how would filmmakers get in touch with you, Robert?
to Jeff Olin.
Okay. I'll take care of it. I will. You know that.
Well, I'm with I'm with Bobby Moses.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm with Bobby Moses over at Maverick Talent
Fantastic.
Group.
Fantastic. I wanted to mention just a couple of other things too, and then I'm just going to change gears for the last few minutes here. But you come out in Dorothea. Um, that's coming out soon.
Right,
You're also in Wrongful Death with Michael Pare and Bai Ling, which I think
right.
is out already.
I think they're still looking for distribution.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. We shot that. Where did we shoot that? In out of the country. Um, yeah, with
Um,
Michael Paré.
I think everybody should watch for it and anything that Robert has been in. And not only is Robert so gifted and talented, but there's another talent in the household there, and I'd like to bring her in
Yes,
if
he
she's
is.
available.
Just
His,
as talented.
his lovely wife, Sylvia Sprouse.
Sylvia,
Sylvia, where are you? And we'll
the
we'll give it
close up.
away. We'll give
There
it
she
away,
comes.
Sylvia. Sylvia was the prop person.
Hello.
Hey, Sylvia.
Hey, hey.
Hey, how you doing?
Look at that cute kid.
Good.
Yeah, I want to start out with
One thing I
what?
think is funny that he
Yeah.
didn't show you. Where is it? Fuck, where did it go?
You're on TV, so you
Oh,
can't
No,
see
it's
that.
sorry.
okay. Fuck it, whatever.
It's just
Yeah.
funny. He
It's-
used to have all kinds of different names.
oh,
And there's some old headshots I found, which is like
yeah.
At my singing days,
Christopher or
at my
whatever.
singing days,
No,
I
your
had
headshots, no?
several different names. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Anyway, it's
You guys are so fun to be around and such a great couple.
okay.
And
How about you?
She makes me look good.
she does, right?
Oh,
But I
I
don't know. You
know.
look pretty good, Robert.
I'm I'm working on it.
No, you look pretty good. How the two of you guys meet?
He was my acting coach and he asked me out after class. But I thought everybody was going for drinks after class.
Right.
And then in the elevator, he's like, "Where did you park your car?" I was like, "Oh, it's just me." And then he's like, "Follow me in the car."
Yeah, but
And then he took me.
where'd he
took me
take you,
to some
Sylvia?
bar.
Where'd he take you? Come on.
Crazy girls. He took me to a strip club.
A famous strip club in LA.
It was
That
the
was the
only
first
club that
drink.
was open. Yeah.
Crazy girls.
And then he touched me and said, "Are those real?"
Oh, stop it, will you? Jesus Christ!
Robert, was that the only bar
Oh,
that
it's
was
a
open? A
pickup
strip
line.
club?
Yeah.
Huh?
Was that the only bar that was open that night?
It's the only one I could think of.
Supposedly.
It was in Holly. Yeah, we were up there by the CNN building, and I couldn't think of a place to go. I said, "Oh, I know. My friend of mine was working at the Crazy Girls." I said,
Oh.
"Listen, follow me," and we get there, and she looks up, Crazy Girls.
How do you know I looked up? I was in the car by myself.
And when you got out, you looked at the side.
Robert, she hasn't stopped following you.
No,
Uh,
he's following me now.
She leaves me around.
Right. Sylvia, talk to us a little bit about working with Robert because you guys have collaborated on many projects together. Tell us about, have you done a lot of scenes together?
Unfortunately, yeah, we done some.
So talk about that, working with your
I mean,
husband.
unfortunately, I mean, they were good.
Remember the deep ones?
Yes?
He wanted to use fake plastic flowers at the door.
Right. Right. I remember that. I wanted you to tell the story.
and we didn't like it, but he was harping on it. So it created some tension there. But I mean, no, I love working with him. And I love producing with him too. Like
Yeah.
we worked on several Chad Farron movies together. I'm actually the one who met Chad
Hmm.
before Robert on a movie called Someone's Knocking at the Door,
Yeah. Wow. That was even. Yeah. Was that before
2010.
Parasite?
Oh yeah.
Oh. Uh huh.
And then years went by and Chad was looking for money for a movie called Horse.
Right. Which he
I
still
was
has
like,
on the docket.
still looking for
Yes.
money.
Yeah.
Keep on.
But maybe one day we'll do it. Although all of
Maybe.
us, right? But although there's so few actors in that movie that we've put together such a wonderful ensemble of actors and people that work on his productions. And on
Right.
Horse, I think it's only what, three actors out in the maybe three or
Before
four.
I don't
four or five
remember.
actors.
It's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
long ago. But then I reached out to him and donated some money to his fundraiser. And then
Mhm.
somehow I introduced Robert to
Mhm.
Chad. And that's how Parasites was born, or was the first movie that I was a producer on it and Robert was a producer on it. And I mean, the budget on Parasite was insane.
Yeah.
I think it was like 20 or 40,000. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe a
It
little
was,
more, a little more.
and there was no toilets. We were shooting from 6 o'clock at night till 6 o'clock in the morning in downtown LA under the 6th Street Bridge. I mean, there were
Yeah.
drug deals going on. There was no police. There was no toilet.
Yeah.
There was no food. The actors got $50 a day.
Yeah.
And I remember after the first day thinking, I don't know if any of the actors will ever come back. And they came back. And then after that,
Yeah.
it became
Yeah.
fun.
They came back
Good
because
luck.
actors want to act, right?
Right.
Yeah, but the conditions were
I
kind of
know.
gruesome.
I
They were
know.
wearing the same thing every day.
I know, but you know what? That talks to anybody out there. Which, if the two of you could just give a little advice, anyone who wants to make a movie, you don't need the big studio money in that. I mean, yeah, granted, you want a little bit more if you could get more than 20, 40,000, but you can do it for a low budget.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
It's actually more fun. It moves faster too. If you have like a skeleton crew,
Hmm.
you move much faster. Versus if you have too many people in the crew and everybody does their thing, it slows things down.
Right.
No, I mean,
And you become a really tight family. And I mean, it's not glamorous. I think that's one thing.
Right.
Making movies is not necessarily glamorous. I mean, there was one movie you had to lay in this river that who knows what's in that water.
Right. That's true. Yeah, you laid in there in that plastic
yeah, you got me in
outfit.
the
It
river,
was
man. I can't believe
raining.
that.
And, I don't know.
Yeah,
There
what
was
a
all
crazy!
kind of
I
bacteria
can't
in there. It
believe
was
that.
floating.
I didn't put my head under the water.
That's a good thing. That's a real good thing.
And
Yeah.
it was raining. It was cold. There was no like
Chad is not bashful to have you do something.
No,
that's
he's
totally,
not. That's for
push
sure.
until you say no, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
One of
right.
the
But then,
crazy ones. That's the one with the church.
Oh,
oh,
Beyond the Wall of Sleep.
Beyond
oh,
the
yeah.
wall.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That's outrageous. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not talking
Yeah.
about that.
And there's others, right? There's so many others.
Mhm.
What Sylvia? What do you want to share about anything coming up for you?
Oh, well, actually, we're having a screening next
Yeah,
week, 28th, at the Lamley Theater
that's
of the
right.
movie Dorothea. And that has even a write-up at the Hollywood Reporter, and it's very well received. It's a true
Dorothea, who's played by Susan Priver.
right
Yes.
about the woman Dorothea Puente who had a boarding house and would get a lot of the homeless or older people in, take their social security, murder them, bury them in her rose garden, and that's a true
Right.
story. And one thing I was very surprised. That was an old lady, and the dead body is really heavy.
Oh yeah.
And digging a hole in a just
Well, she
into
had
the
help
so-
though.
it's-
She had help.
yeah, no, but she did a lot of stuff herself. I
Yeah.
mean, cutting a body apart is not easy.
No, she was out there, man.
The
She
things
was-
you learn on
The
Jed's movies.
things you learn, that's for sure. Okay, Sylvia, how would any filmmaker otherwise get in touch with you?
I like Instagram.
Okay. So do
Same
you
for
want to spell
Rob.
it out?
Sylvia Spross.
Spell it.
SilviaSpross.
Perfect. It's the only way.
And same for Robert. It's
And
easy.
Same as Robert. Robert
Yeah,
Miano.
Instagram is good.
I'm Sylvia Spross too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm Sylvia's other agent. I'm Sylvia and Robert's other agent. So if you can't
Yeah,
get in touch
yeah.
with
Or
them,
Jeff Oliver.
What's
you
Jeff
can
Oliver?
always reach them through me. Look, I want to thank you both for coming on. I'd love to do it. Seriously, do this again sometime.
Thank you.
That's been an hour, and it doesn't seem like it's like you could. The stories. There's so many of them. We can continue on forever, but unfortunately, these
It's really fun.
podcasts are only about an hour or so. And I want to thank you so much for coming on Rolling with Olin. I really appreciate you guys. I love you guys,
Love you
and
Love
too.
you
I
too.
look forward to seeing you probably Tuesday.
Great.
Okay.
Yes.
You know,
Okay. You be
and
well, Jeff.
great. Thank you so much, and stick around just a couple of minutes if you would.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
All right,
sure.
great.